Thank you for tuning back into Boss Lady News. Once again, make sure you guys know what's going on with your kids' social media, declutter your life, and check out who's going to be next or who's in the running for the presidency. Great show today. We've got JTronius coming on. I also have Denise Farai Williams coming on from Project Hip Hop, and I've got Jared Salvatore, who is a former student of Berkeley that's going to be taking on my last 5 minutes. But with no further ado, JTronius, you want to come on out here? Oh my God, you give the best hugs. Thank you for coming on to the stage.
It's good, man.
Now, the first time I met you was a long time ago. And then, coincidentally, I keep running into you and running into you and running into you at events, at shows.
All of that.
You are awesome, first. And you have a sound that I don't think a lot of Boston has heard. You, for me, are kind of like the Common of Boston.
Okay.
So first and foremost, let my audience know about you.
Well, you know, my name is JTronius, a.k.a. Governor of the Galaxy, the New Age Knighted Funketeer. I could go on and on with the aliases, but I am a psychedelic soul funk singer, songwriter out here in Boston, originally from Texas, but I'm out here and I've been out here for years, and I'm just doing this music thing, this entertainment thing as much as I can.
Yeah. Did you always see yourself wanting to do music?
Yeah. From like little. I always loved to sing. And, I just always got so excited when I listen to music, watch other people perform. I'm like, I want to be part of that legacy. So it's been forever since,
Yeah. Now, did you have music? Were you raised in music?
Oh, yeah. It's like I didn't have no choice. My mother, she's a lover of, R&B and soul, and she played the flute years ago. And my father is a soul and a gospel singer. So I grew up in music real tough. Yeah.
Growing up in music, I know a lot of people, at first, they hate it. They don't really want to do it. And then you said you were a lover of music also.
From day one.
Did you ever see yourself within this transition of doing music, just feeling like, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore?
You have, this is a game where, it has its ups and downs. And yeah, I have those little moments where I'm like, I can't do this no more. I'm not where I want to be. But then you got to realize, you love it. You're going to go through whatever to make sure it goes down. It's my passion. So those moments are very, very few and far between.
Yeah. Everybody kind of transitions themselves between wanting to be a rapper at first, and then finding yourself and wanting to be a singer. And then some people want to be the DJ. Some people want to be the person that produces.
Do it all.
Yeah. So was that you?
No, I just love to sing. Eventually, as time went on, I was like, well, I could probably do this. I could probably rap if I wanted to. I could probably do whatever I put my mind to because I love music and I've studied it so tough on different angles. But the core of it all is like, I just love to sing. So that has never changed. It's been like that since I was little, and it's going to be like that till I'm gone.
And you're a singer. You're a singer
I'm
to
a
the
singer.
You are a singer. You can sing. This boy
singers
can
and
sing,
okay? I think I've earned that. So
you definitely have. And I know you have a new album that you just dropped. But before we talk about the album, you also perform with a band.
Yes.
Did you find that difficult?
I started out here at Berkeley College of Music, and I was always surrounded by so many amazing musicians. So, I never pictured being with a band, but it pretty much chose me. The band thing chose me a long time ago when I first got to Boston. So, it's not that hard. It's hard to maintain, but it's not that hard to put together, though.
And really working with the band.
Yeah.
Out of all of the instruments, if you were to perform with just one?
Oh, it's the piano all day. Big, long, stretched grand piano.
Yeah.
Me and the piano. I do play piano, actually. I just haven't recently been doing that side of my performing, but that's definitely what it would be.
Well, maybe you can come on to the show and do that next time.
I'm with it.
I want to see that. So tell me more about the fact that you're a soul and R&B singer as opposed to, what's popular now is like crunk music.
Well, I do come from the dirty South, so crunk is always going to be a part of me. But, it hadn't been the forefront. Soul and real I can't say real, but R&B and soul music, that I studied from like the 70s and the 90s. There, it hadn't been around as much, except with the exceptions of like Robin Thicke and Justin Timberlake and a few other people. But I grew up in soul music, all my family, the Prince records, the
Prince.
Prince
has not aged,
Yeah,
by the way.
He never will. He never will. But like I grew up in it. I grew up around Dallas, Texas, and there's just numerous amounts of soul radio stations. So it's like I was groomed as that being the prominent type of music that I listened to and grew up around. So I carry that because it's what it's been since I was,
yeah,
little. So
for any of the people out there that want to be artists, singers, was there anything that kind of made you feel intimidated at any point?
The game, as far as the years go on, or especially right now, I say in the past 10 plus years, everything has been real image driven versus talent driven. And I think what I bring to the game is just not really worrying about if I got the right outfit on, or if my hair looks right, or if
Which I love it.
I
was just saying earlier, I wish my hair was a little bigger again, but
long hair don't care, But like, I think what I want to help bring back to the game is just appreciating uniqueness and just not worrying so much that you got to look the part, but really be your character, really be the part, and really put out some good stuff. I think that's what's missing right now. Everything is so formulated, and like, if you look like this and you dance like this and you sound like the artist that had just came out, you're gonna get put on. And I'm like, no, just be you and do your own, have your own lane, and embrace who you are, and don't let nobody tell you different. So. And
just to kind of speak of a couple mainstream artists out there that I feel like were true soul singers, like Music Soul Child.
Of course.
And the other person, she'll jump back into my head in just a moment. But Music Soul Child, he went from being that soulful singer to trying to switch up the game and throwing in that rap feel to his music, which I thought was a little crazy.
Well, he's probably, you never know what's going on. That's probably his labels telling him that. That might be him. There's always a story behind the music, So, I mean, you don't know what that brother's up against and who he's working with and what he's got to face. But he definitely had a prominent sound, and I'll always be a fan of his. Continue what you do. You don't switch up either, brother. And that's what I'm here for. I'm telling cats, be who you are, because the people love you for it, and that's what makes you comfortable. Stay there.
Yeah, I would honestly say that, and I think I talked about Music Soul Child on one of my other shows. When he changed is when he lost his audience.
Yeah.
Jill Scott was the other person that I kind of wanted to bring up. Afro, natural, voice was incredible, is incredible.
Still, yeah.
However, when she changed her image to almost fit in, now you don't really hear as much from her. Her concerts haven't been happening as frequently because I think that neo-soul person kind of got lost along the way.
Things go in trend. Some people are capable of just being who they are throughout time. Like, you have your characters like Erica, Erica Badu. Like, she never switches up. She's always
even pushed
Erica.
the envelopes with her videos.
Yeah, like I said, this game is so crazy. You really don't know what the story is behind the story, if it's actually because they switch up. I think as artists, you want to try to you do want to try to experiment with other stuff and see what works and what doesn't work. But I think everybody has a lane that will always work and that people will always love them for. So I think it's just about balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In New England, I've noticed that it's very difficult for artists to make it here in Boston.
Yeah.
A lot of people go outside of Boston, make it, and then all of a sudden come back. And I know I've been talking about this and harping on this with you guys, but your city has to be behind you.
Yeah.
Definitely does.
Boston's a tough city. I think that I've gotten I'll show love to Boston forever just because I've been here for so long. But it is, for urban music especially, it's very hard to take it to another level. You reach a certain plateau out here, and then, either you're comfortable being there as being, Boston's local star, or you have to outsource to other cities in order to get that next level exposure that you want.
That's true.
I think Boston does need to step up. The talent is here. It's just that there needs to be more business moguls that are willing to,
Support it.
Support it. There needs to be the Russell Simmons, the P. Diddy's, the people that create this scene and help on the business end. That's what I think Boston is lacking.
Definitely.
But the talent there's so many talented people out here right now.
The talent is here. I mean, without a doubt, just the fact that the Berkeley School of Music this is where everybody comes from outside of the country. They come here to Boston. And so it's difficult to kind of feel like, my own city isn't supporting our own talent. But we have a music video.
Nice.
That we're going to roll, and this is So Cool. Tell me a little bit about the video before we go into it really quick.
So Cool. It was a chance for me to kind of give my new age, what's going on. This is what I see as I'm walking down the street, like what's going on in the urban communities as far as like what you're up against, the good and bad things, the good and the bad and the good, just my observation of what's popping, and that even in the 2000s, we've grown a lot, we've evolved a lot, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Definitely.
So that's kind of like, in the midst of this chaos, to stay cool. Because I know a lot of people that maybe they know I'm one of the coolest cats around, and I plan on being there forever. So everybody stay cool. It's crazy out here, but we'll be all right.
Yeah. And what I liked about the video is you did show a few different aspects of what the female might be going through, what the guy might be going through. And I like what you said in the music video. And just getting back to the industry again, people are getting so wrapped up in the image of the video that what people are talking about is nothing.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut to So Cool by JTronius.
Oh yeah, you better go ahead and believe it, man. Here's some theory, man. And this player JTronius, right? Street prophecies made on this EIP in the beginning. Alright. I'm so cool, you stay cool. Players around here won't have to act a fool. We'll stay cool, you stay cool. Do your own thing, but play by the rules. Come on. This one's for brothers with lost fathers, caught up in the acting and they dip said why bother. And this one's for sisters and hurting mothers, calling niggas daddies undercovers with no rubbers. Cool, you stay cool. Players around here won't have to act a fool. We'll stay cool, you stay cool. Do your own thing, but play by the rules. OG code, on off the road. Game around here is sold and not told. So be cool, be cool. That's why I'm so cool. And this one's for players that's cold-blooded. Jacking cribs and drugs ain't they own, cause there's flooding. And this one's for vixens with no pension, sucking for some bucks, then they stuck with blood visions. Ain't cool, we've been used, dealt a dirty hand and acting like fools. Shit ain't cool, we ain't cool. Gotta flip the script and make our own rules. And this one's for niggas with no morals, cooking crack, bragging about they stacks from girls' orals. And this one's for crackers that straight jacking, castles made of fear about to fall by their actions. Cool, we've been used, dealt a dirty hand and acting like fools. Shit ain't cool, we ain't cool. Gotta flip the script and make our own rules. Not that third row, get a rebel. Don't come around here till shit is stable. It's not cool. It's really not cool. And this one's for preachers that straight acting, pockets overflow while they churches straight slacking. And this one's for seekers with no teachers, caught up in the game and a trap that's so secret. Not cool, misled too. Hustlers around me, that ain't what we choose. It ain't cool. Shit ain't cool. Now this is for children on foul missions, all up in the screen slanging messages. streets and hood glitching. And this one's for suckers that's mind lynching. Rebels on the rise, about to fight for good living. Misled too. Hustlers around me, that ain't what we choose. It ain't cool. Shit ain't cool. Yeah. Oh no. Things ain't cool. Things ain't cool.
So you guys, I love that video. And the reason I chose that video to actually play on the show today is because of what it's discussing. Like, you really talked about everything from, you know, brothers with no fathers. You talked about the ladies sleeping around with the men. You know, you talked about what's going on in church, because there are different churches popping up all over the area, but is the person that's supposed to be bringing you to where you're trying to go actually doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Going there, yeah.
I love what this video actually talks about, and you know, the message that you're sending.
Word, I appreciate
That's
that.
why I
That's
chose
what's
that
up.
video. And, you know, staying cool. And I think people do get a hot head, especially in people of color. Get a hot head very quickly.
You know, they're up against a lot. They're up against a lot. I feel it doesn't matter where you're at. As a person of color, still in the 2000s or whatever, however you want to call it, it's tough. It's tough out there. You're up against a lot still. And you gotta, you know, you can't ever really make really good decisions in anger. You know, the number one killer in the world is stress. So, and we got so much stress coming at us. Somehow you got to figure out your own little bubble to, you know, breathe and figure out how to get around it or just get through it and keep it pushing. So that's what that whole thing is. It's like, yeah, we're up against a lot. You don't know. You could come up in a church and it could be fake as ever. You know, you might get the illest spiritual message from a coke dealer. You don't know. So every day you just got to kind of fall back and take it in. It's, you know what I'm saying? Kind of put yourself, your own little form of cruise control and just maneuver around. You know
I like
what
that.
I mean?
Put yourself in cruise control. Enough kids, teenagers, young adults out there don't understand putting yourself in cruise control. I like that one. I'm going to hashtag that.
Straight up.
Cruise control.
You know.
And so, again, you know, as far as being an artist here in New England, what do you kind of want to do as far as ushering in a new soulful door? You're like opening up a door again for people.
You know, I appreciate you recognizing that. And like, I think with me, I do want to show people, you know, uniqueness through, you know, and that soul music still lives, that we can go back to the root. Like, we don't have to switch our styles up to keep up with the whatever, you know. If you just really have a solid sound and soul and R&B is your thing, stay there. Even if it doesn't look like it's popular, just go hard. And if people, you know, we're in a day and age where indie labels are popping out. So don't worry about that record deal coming because you don't see R&B music being put out. Just put it out yourself. Create your own lane where they ain't got no choice. And I think that's one thing I want to show people. And I also, you know, I'm really big into artist development. So not only am I doing this soul music thing for myself, just watch me, but watch this movement, this musical army and family that I create through what I'm doing as well. It's just not about me.
Yeah.
It's about me putting out, you know, leaving the legacies with the older cats, you know, the people that came before me, doing stuff with them, me coming to the younger ones and doing stuff with them. It's a whole movement. It's just beyond me pushing myself.
Yeah. That's so good to hear. Well, we're going to cut to a brief PSA, and when we come back, I've got some more for you.
Alright, so tell me, kids, what does reading mean